Have you ever looked at a world map and just marveled at how humans managed to get ... everywhere? From the frozen tundras of Siberia to the remote islands of the Pacific, not a single corner of this planet was left untouched. And the most incredible part? Most of this happened thousands of years before compasses, before maps, before anything we'd recognize as technology. This is the story of the greatest journey ever told. How our prehistoric ancestors explored and settled the entire world. Our story begins in Africa, the cradle of humanity, around 300,000 years ago. For a long, long time, we were homebodies. But then, sometime between 60,000 and 70,000 years ago, a small group of Homo sapiens decided to step out. We don't know exactly why. Maybe it was climate change. Maybe they were following herds of animals. Or maybe it was just good old-fashioned curiosity. Whatever the reason, this was the beginning of everything. Their first big move was into the Middle East. From there, humanity split. One group headed west, into Europe, eventually displacing the Neanderthals around 40,000 years ago. These were the ancestors of the people who would later paint breathtaking murals in caves like Lascaux and Chauvet. They were adapting to colder climates, hunting massive beasts like woolly mammoths, and laying the groundwork for European civilization. It wasn't a quick march, but a slow generational creep, a few miles at a time. Meanwhile, another group went east. They followed the coastlines of Asia, a reliable source of food and a natural highway. This coastal route was a superhighway for ancient migration. By about 50,000 years ago, these pioneers had reached a place that would have looked totally alien, Australia. Back then, sea levels were lower and a land bridge connected Asia to a supercontinent called Sahul, which included Australia and New Guinea. Making that final water crossing, even with the shorter distance, was one of humanity's first great maritime achievements. Imagine setting off into the unknown on a simple raft, with no idea what lay on the other side. That takes incredible courage. Back in Asia, other groups were pushing north into the vast cold expanse of Siberia. This was a brutal environment, but our ancestors were masters of adaptation. They developed sophisticated tools, tailored clothing from animal hides, and learned to hunt the giant fauna of the Ice Age. It was these tough, resilient Siberians who would make the next giant leap. Around 20,000 years ago, they crossed a land bridge called Beringia, which connected Siberia to Alaska. Welcome to the Americas. For thousands of years, massive ice sheets blocked their path south. But as the ice began to melt, corridors opened up. Once they were through, humans spread through North and South America with astonishing speed. In just a few thousand years, they went from the Arctic to the very tip of South America, Patagonia. They adapted to every conceivable environment, from dense rainforests to high-altitude mountains. So, we've covered Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, and the Americas. But what about all those tiny dots in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? This is perhaps the most mind-boggling chapter of all. Starting around 3,500 years ago, a group of seafaring people known as the Austronesians began an epic voyage from Southeast Asia into the Pacific. Using incredible double-hull canoes and navigating by the stars, the currents, and the flight of birds, they settled thousands of islands across a vast triangle of ocean. From Hawaii in the north to Easter Island in the east, and all the way to New Zealand in the south. This was the last great wave of human migration, a testament to unparalleled navigational skill and a deep connection to the ocean. So, when we look at that world map, we're not just seeing land and water. We're seeing the echoes of a journey that took tens of thousands of years. It's a story of resilience, of ingenuity, and of an unquenchable human spirit of exploration that's literally in our DNA. We are all the descendants of those brave, curious people who dared to wonder what was over the next hill or across the next sea. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey through time as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into our shared past. See you in the next one.